A very good evening and welcome to Newsline. I am Claire Adilabu Abdul Razak. Now, a wise man once told me something very striking, and he said, even an old, deep-rooted tree can still bend when the winds change direction. And truly, in today's world, shifting global security challenges are reshaping our borders, our behaviors, and of course, national priorities. So no matter how established a nation may be, none stands untouched by the changing winds. So tonight on Newsline, we will echo that same spirit of resilience through stories of courage and creativity from men and women boldly claiming their worth to artistry that pushes past limitation, and of course, a humble repair shop where sheer determination is shaped into a masterpiece of perseverance. We will also, on tonight's edition of Newsline, celebrate great intellectuals opening new chapters in their lives, along with, of course, the colors of our culture and the heartbeat of tradition, those gentle reminders of our shared collective roots. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Newsline Airways Flight 9009 p.m., departing from the network service of the NTA, Abuja. We will make a quick stop in the newsroom for the headlines, take a short commercial break, and then we will journey into tonight's stories. So, seatbelts fastened, we're cleared for takeoff. And we begin with the resident doctors, and the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has suspended its indefinite nationwide strike for 4 weeks with immediate effect. A statement by the association indicates that the decision was reached at an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held on November 29, 2025, bringing to a temporary halt a 29-day industrial action that began on November 1. Now, the strike affected more than 11,000 resident doctors across 91 accredited training institutions, leading to the cancellation of elective surgeries, reduced emergency care, and long delays for patients nationwide. National President Dr. Tokwe Oshundara confirmed that the suspension followed intensive negotiations with the federal government and the signing of a fresh memorandum of understanding. The Nigerian Air Force has intensified its precision counter-terrorism operations across the northwest and northeast, delivering devastating intelligence-driven air interdictions that dismantled terror cells and eliminated scores of fleeing insurgents. Defense correspondent Olaide Bello reports that in Katsina State, NAF aircraft executed 2 coordinated strikes under Operation Fasanyama Sector 2.
A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehime Ejodame, indicates that the first strike targeted the fortified base of a notorious terrorist kingpin linked to serial kidnappings, violent attacks, and livestock rustling across Kankara, Faskari, and Malumfashi local government areas. Guided by real-time intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, the aircraft destroyed the camp with precision munitions, while persistent intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance enabled follow-on engagements as surviving fighters attempted to flee. A second strike hit another major terrorist enclave in Damfako, Faskari local government area, destroying logistics hub, structures, equipment and operational infrastructure. In Borno State, NAF Air Power again proved decisive as ground troops of the 28th Task Force Brigade Sector 4, Operation Heading K, repelled a coordinated multi-front ISWAP and Boko Haram attack on Chibok. NAF aircraft conducted 4 major strikes guided by real-time intelligence from ground forces against regrouping insurgents along their escape routes, inflicting significant damage. These operations underscore the NAF's unwavering commitment to precise surgical engagement aimed at neutralizing threats, restoring security, and safeguarding the lives and property of citizens. Olaide Bello, NTA News.
That was Defense Correspondent Olajide Bello reporting on the NAP strikes under Operation Fasan Yama Sector 2. The federal government has renewed its commitment to tackling insecurity, calling on regional and international allies to strengthen collaboration in the collective fight against insecurity. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, gave the assurance when he received a delegation of the Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, led by its president, Archbishop Professor Leonard Baturi-Kawos, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. The SGF stated that the Tinubu-led administration is doing everything within its power to ensure the security of lives and property, and also sought collaborative support from international allies to fight the menace. Archbishop Leonard Baturi-Kawos reaffirmed the commitment to support the Tinubu-led administration in its quest to fight insecurity. In other stories, the intellectual world has been further enriched with a public presentation of the book An Invincible Hand at Work, a compelling chronicle of the life journey of Senator Andrew Chindo. King Apollo Chu was at the public presentation of the 22-chapter biography written by Priestley Nna, which captures the resilience and divine grace that shaped the life of the statesman. Gatspa Iribu's report is presented from our studios.
The colorful ceremony was a roll call of political leaders, captains of industry, businessmen and royal fathers who gathered to celebrate on her Senator Andrew Igbonole Uchendu, a man they described as an embodiment of humility and integrity.
And of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
Reviewing the 193-page book, Professor Emmanuel Masualu notes that An Invisible Hand at Work chronicles Senator Uchendu's life journey, one that began with early uncertainties but evolved into a story of resilience.
As Dr. Chidi Amutan notes, it is the kind of story that provides society with a necessary role model.
The speakers took turns to eulogize Senator Uchendu as a statesman whose public service reflects patriotism and selfless dedication to the common good.
Give God the glory and also give the glory. We should also thank our leaders there. They are now in their 80s and frail, not as strong as they were.
It will be so much selfish of you if you don't put on all this record of experience into a record where the younger generation will consult. For me, I have written up to 9 books, and then I like sitting, I like reading, I like studying, I like putting record.
The presence of old boys of County Grammar School Ikwereche further highlighted the celebrant's enduring connection to his modest beginning.
I used the opportunity of this book launch to ask all my friends, all Ikure people, all Rivers people, for us to reconcile with each other so that we can move ourselves and the state to the next level.
His Royal Highness King Apollos Chu One Nchia X and Emere Okori of Eleme Kingdom, former governors, were among dignitaries who attended the Senator's 75th anniversary. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
That report was actually compiled by Jeffrey Rebu. Now, the National Examinations Council, NECO, has again added another feather to its cap with the establishment of a new examination center in Burkina Faso to significantly address differences in educational structure and language barrier faced by Nigerian students in that country. Hosanna Musa reports that the accreditation of the Burkina Faso Examination Center brings to 9 the number of NECO examination centers in diaspora.
Nigerian students in Burkina Faso showcasing their identity with a sense of patriotism as a heartwarming reflection of their deep connection to their roots. The accreditation is a testament to NECO's determination to become leading examination body in Africa, offering opportunities for Nigerian students and other foreign nationals worldwide to benefit from its expertise, thus contributing to the advancement of education on the continent and beyond. This feat of accreditation of schools in Burkina Faso, the examination body say will provide opportunity for Nigerian students resident in the country to write both senior school certificate examinations and the basic education certificate examinations without traveling back to Nigeria. The accreditation team inspected classrooms, laboratories, libraries, computer laboratories, workshops, examination halls, sports facilities, continuous assessment as well as adequacy of teachers and school security to determine their suitability and readiness for NECO examinations. Leader of the NECO accreditation team, Dr. Uche Ezenwane, said the accreditation of schools in Burkina Faso will help strengthen NECO's position as Africa's foremost examination body. Ambassador of Nigeria to Burkina Faso, Galadima, commended NECO for expanding its global presence in Burkina Faso, saying Nigerian parents in Burkina Faso had for long faced challenges due to differences in education system and the lack of English-based schools in the country. He noted that the accreditation of schools in Burkina Faso will help eliminate security risks, travel time, and financial burden on both the parents and school owners. Emena Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
And the president of Mariam Abacha Group of Universities, Professor Adamu Abubakar Gwazo, has donated a fully equipped two-story building and a cash of 10 million naira for Alliance Francaise in Kano. Shehu Adamu reports that the cash donation is operational funding to support the smooth running and sustainability of the center.
The edifice unveiled by French ambassador to Nigeria, Marc Fambostier, alongside Professor Gorzo, is fitted with smart lining boards, high-speed internet connectivity, conference halls, audiovisual teaching aids, and a digital resource library. Located at Ahmadiyya Junction along Airport Road in Kano, the facility is now regarded as the most sophisticated French language and cultural training center in northern Nigeria. The French ambassador to Nigeria, Marc Fambostier, commended Professor Adamu Abubakar Gwarzo for the donation of a two-story building and a cash of 10 million naira to the center, describing it as remarkable humanitarian and educational contributions.
So it's very important to have a combination of tools and levers that can work together and being put together reach a critical mass so that the vast majority of people here can learn French.
If you go to UN, the number of Nigeria staff is low. You know why? The lack of language. Because if you are applying UN job, they will ask you another language, another additional language. So if you cannot speak French, so that is by God.
The director of Alliance Francaise Kano, Ali Dabo, noted that in decades of the existence of the center in Kano, no individual has transformed the center to this standard the way Professor Gwarzo has done. Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
And the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says Africa must urgently embrace multi-sectoral solutions to curb the rising burden of non-communicable diseases, NCD, if the continent is to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. This was at the West African Institute of Public Health's 10th anniversary and 6th membership induction ceremony held in Abuja, where he also highlighted the growing impact of hypertension, diabetes, cancers, mental health conditions, and other NCDs on productivity, household well-being, and national development.
Diseases experience diminished labor participation, volatile health expenditures, and overall weakened fiscal resilience. So that is what we are contending with. And that's why the lens of public health and healthier public policies is an important lens to look at this as we begin to consider how to tackle this.
Professor Pate outlined government-led solutions already underway, including new national policies on NCD prevention and control, salt reduction, trans fat elimination, tobacco control, and updated guidelines on hypertension management. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has described former governor of Kogi State, late Abubakar Audu, as a visionary who left many legacies that laid the foundation for development in the state. Now, the president, represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the remark at the 10th Memorial of Prince Abubakar Audu, organized by the Kogi State government in Lokoja.
Positive legacies remain indelible even after that. This explains dignitaries that graced the 10th year memorial of late Prince Abubakar Audu. They include the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and 2 former governors of Kogi State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his message, reaffirms that restoring peace, strengthening national security, and expanding economic opportunities remain top priority of his administration.
Prince Abubakar Audu was not just a politician, he was a pathfinder. As the first democratically elected governor of Kogi State,
Audu was one of the very few Nigerians who won elections 3 times.
Prince Abubakar Audu was more than just a political leader. He was a big ID, an ID that believed Kogi could be great.
Let us be reminded that leadership is not measured by the length of tenure you spend in office, but the enduring impact one leaves behind.
Dignitaries who spoke at the event described late Abubakar Audu as a great man of wisdom, strength, and compassion, whose death they say is a loss to the state and the country. High point of the event was the presentation of a book titled Prince Abubakar Audu Leadership Foundation by the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Adetokunbo Kayode, as well as the inauguration of Prince Abubakar Audu Foundation by Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
Still in Kogi State, the member representing Yagba Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Leke Abejide, says he does not recognize his purported expulsion from the African Democratic Congress. Speaking on NTA's political update, Leke Abejide says there is a leadership dispute in ADC, with some people illegally parading themselves as the party's leaders without any convention to ratify such status.
In Kogi State, that you are no longer a member of the party and you have been expelled for anti-party activities.
Thank you so much. Well, we are talking about Bolaji Abdullahi. I've never met him in my life. Ask him if you see him. Has he ever met me? I have been in this party since 2017 to date. Sunday, a member of our party. And as we speak, we have leadership crisis. There is no National Executive Council is talking about National Working Committee that is well constituted, because in the eye of the law, since Chief Rafonwosu resigned, the next in line supposed to take over from him. That is what the law, our constitution says. Those people parading themselves as but they want to use it as a vehicle to fight this government. I will not agree. And they will find their level very soon, because they know I'm in court against their leadership.
Now, a new book that examines Nigeria's sports policies and the conduct of its administrators has been presented to the public in Lagos. Diana Ajali, who witnessed the official unveiling, reports that the sports enthusiasts at the event stressed that the nation's long-term success in football will depend on strategic planning and deliberate investment in grassroots development.
Let this book, after reading this, stir something in us, so that we'll go from conversation to action.
There are stories that begin as whisper, gentle, almost unnoticed, but sometimes they are the opening notes of a lifelong symphony. This better describes the book titled Sports, Politics and Power, authored by a man of uncommon abilities, whose talents span the gamut of law, sports and journalism. Godwin Dudu Orume.
If Nigeria must rise again in sports, it must return to the fundamentals that shaped Dudu Orume's early years: structure, youth development. We have to be the architects of our own future and fortune.
Part 2, page 107 of the 14th chapter book, highlights sports administration since independence, the influence and challenges of government's involvement, while chapter 13 reflected on special moments in Nigerian sports, focusing on Choma Ajua's Olympic gold at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. And in football, the Nigerian under-23 team led by coach Bonfrijo, which won the gold medal at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics.
Over the years, as a fan, as a journalist, as an administrator, as a market and a sports lawyer, I know the power of sports and the various things that have gone on, good and bad, and I decided to document them in this book.
We in the industry, we depend on the success of our national team, particularly the Super Eagles.
The event provided a thought-provoking exploration of the complex relationships between sports, politics, and power in Nigeria. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
All right, and still in the spirit of football, Chelsea and Arsenal, settled for a handshake. No win, no loss. But some people are still talking. Let's join Bade Adeleye to help us make sense out of all of this London drama. Bade.
Many thanks, Claire. Now we'll come back to football. Let's begin with karate, as Team FCT emerged the overall winners of the first Dragon Shotokan National Karate Championship, which took place at the Package B section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. FCT dominated the competition by securing 4 gold, 3 silver and 10 bronze medals, while Delta State finished in second position with 4 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze medal. And Team Anambra took third with 3 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals. The 3-day championship, which was organized to prepare FCT athletes for upcoming competitions, featured participants from 11 states and karate clubs nationwide.
I feel very happy, I feel very excited and accomplished.
Just won myself a gold medal and I'm very happy. I'm dedicating this to my family.
In this championship, as far as the federation is concerned, athletes will be picked from this championship to represent Nigeria in international events.
If we can have between 20 to 30 competitions in a year, national competition in a year, I think our athletes will know.
Straight from the mat to the football pitch now, as Ikorodu City bounced back from last week's defeat to climb to the top of the Nigeria Premier Football League table after seeing off Abia Warriors 1-0. Nasarawa United now share joint lead on the table despite a 1-0 loss to Warri Wolves. Elsewhere, Barawa FC came out tops in a 5-goal thriller against Kwara United. In other results, Kun Khalifat defeated relegation-threatened Plateau United 2-0, while Bayelsa United and Katsina United shared the spoils in a 1-0 draw in Yenagoa. Away from Nigeria to England now, where the final day of match day 13 of the Premier League on Sunday between Chelsea and Arsenal ended a goal apiece with all the drama and talking points. Moise Caicedo was red-carded in the 39th minute of the game, but it was the home team that took the lead in the 40th minute of the second half through Trevor Chalobah's header. Arsenal fought back against the spirited 10-man Chelsea to earn a draw through Mikel Merino's 59th minute header. Also at Anfield, Alexander Isak scored his first Premier League goal for Liverpool to help the Reds secure a 2-0 win over 10-man West Ham United to ease the pressure on Anna Slot. At Selhurst Park, it was Manchester United that turned the game around after coming from a goal down to beat Crystal Palace 2-1 thanks to goals from Joshua Zirkzee and Mason Mount. Well, that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Claire, who is not too pleased with the result at Stamford Bridge earlier.
Absolutely. I'm okay. Both teams tried, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I see that you're happy with it also.
Neutral.
Thank you. So let's check the weather forecast for the rest of the country for Monday.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on the weather forecast for Monday. We start off the month of December with fresh dust from the Sahara Desert, keeping most parts of the northern states in moderate dust haze, with visibilities ranging between 2 to 5 kilometers. The public, especially people with respiratory problems, are advised to take necessary precaution. Other parts of the north will see mostly sunny and hazy atmosphere, while the north central partly cloudy skies are expected with a generally cloudy morning to the southern region. Going into the afternoon and evening hours of Monday, the southern parts of the country, especially the coastal belt, as well as parts of Lagos, Ogun, and Osun states, are expected to see pockets of thunderstorms. Daytime highs over the northern region are expected to range between 35 to 38 degrees Celsius. Stay with us for temperature forecasts across other parts of the country. I am Theodora Itum. Have a great month ahead.
All right, thank you. That's the weather forecast from our weather center, and it ends the news segment on Newsline. Please don't go away, adjust your seatbelts. We're now journeying into tonight's Newsline stories.